It looks like nothing that you would see anywhere else in the world.
Sliding down through the labyrinth. Track is clear.
Bobsledding has been an Olympic institution here in Lake Placid since the 1932 Winter Games. Decades before that, Albany was a bustling industrial city, built on the sloping hills of the Hudson River. Add in cold, snowy winters, and you have the perfect ingredients for a new winter sport.
Before it became Arbor Hill, this was known as Albany's Lumber District. And the district ran all the way from the Arbor Hill neighborhood down to the Erie Canal, which was along the banks of the Hudson River.
In the mid-1800s, local and freelance Adirondack lumberjacks would load their wood onto sleds, and the laws of motion would do the rest of the work, sending the lumber to the bottom of the hill.
People started to notice that these sleds might be fun to ride on, maybe not just for lumber, but to stick some people on them as well.
And thus the sport was born. Well, sort of. One Albany neighborhood helped put it on the map.
This is Madison Ave. It was the most popular bobsledding course in Albany in the 1880s.
There were tracks all over the city, including State, Lark, and 2nd Street. But it was Madison Ave that would get most of the attention.
The streets would have been lined with spectators. People loved watching this sport. The sleds themselves were amazing, and they gave them great names, like there was the Avalanche, the Dynamiter, and then there was the Brooklyn Bridge, which was huge and could fit up to 30 people. So if you can imagine 30 people on a bobsled careening down Madison Ave.
Teams would start at the top of the hill at South Swan Street and go as fast as they could. They'd zip past the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception and fly by Bleecker Park and the mansions on Madison Place. As the unregulated sport grew, the more unsafe it would become.
It doesn't sound like anybody just bailed either. It sounded like they all kind of stayed on to the end to see, you know, if we're gonna make it or not.
It's like driving an out-of-control train.
Broken legs and arms, concussions, and dislocated shoulders were the new norm.
I think a lot of people don't realize how violent of a sport bobsledding actually is. You don't even need to crash in order to get your bell rung.
On the first day of the 1889 Winter Carnival, tragedy struck.
We are at the intersection of Madison Ave and South Pearl Street, which was the finish line of the Madison Ave bobsled course, and this is where Charles O'Hara was killed in 1889 when he was hit by the bobsled.
The death of a 14-year-old boy hung over Albany, and it was the final blow to bobsledding within the city. As the sport's origin faded into local obscurity, the rest of the world was just catching on, and by 1924 it was featured in the first Winter Olympics, where it remains today as popular as ever.
It's becoming the Formula One of winter sports, for sure.
Its humble beginnings originating here.
And it was not safe at all.
Thanks to the Daredevils of Albany. With the Albany Archives, I'm Matt Millett for Spectrum News.